Hi, welcome to this course. My name is Jayaprakash Tripathi, and in this course, we will cover the topic three-dimensional strain analysis. Okay, so let's know the contents of this lecture, and at the end, what will you learn? What are learning outcomes? So in this lecture, we will cover introduction of three-dimensional as well as two-dimensional strain. So it will cover a basic introduction of two-dimensional strain, and then we will go deeper into three-dimensional strain. Second part is deformation at a point and in its neighborhood. So we know that strain represents a kind of deformation where we deal with the relative deformations or deformations relative to the original length of the body. So this section will help you to understand the strain induced at a point as well as in its neighborhood. Then we will consider a linear element and we will derive expressions for deformation for that linear element. In addition to extensional deformation of a linear element, we will also discuss the rotation of a linear element. Next to it, we will deal with the volumetric strain. Finally, we will take a special case where strains are known as principal strain. Let's start with the introduction. In two-dimensional plane, a strain can be defined in three categories. One is longitudinal strain, lateral strain, and shear strain. These two types are also known as linear strain. Linear strain in x direction. So if it is x direction, then this strain denotes linear strain in x direction. And if the original length of this body was del x, and if it is deformed by a length del u x, then the linear strain in x, that is epsilon x, will be equal to delta ux by delta x. Similarly, linear strain in y direction will be represented by epsilon y equal to delta uy by delta y, where this delta y represents this lateral dimension of the body, and this change in the dimension along the y-axis is denoted by del u y. Next is shear strain in xy plane. So if it is xy plane, and if this length is delta x along the x-axis, and this is delta y along the y-axis, and if this deformation, if these deformations are delta ux and delta uy, then the shear strain in xy plane is represented as this gamma xy is equal to delta uy by delta x, delta uy by delta x plus delta ux by delta y. If we name this angular change by theta 1 and this angular change by theta 2, then gamma xy can be written as theta 1 plus theta 2, provided that these theta 1 and theta 2 values are very small. Strain in three-dimensional body or in three-dimensional space is represented by rectangular strain components epsilon xx, epsilon xy, which is also known as gamma xy. That means shear strain, gamma xz, or we also call it epsilon xz, gamma xy, epsilon yy, gamma yz. Strain in three-dimensional space is represented by a state of strain or strain matrix. This strain matrix or state of strain comprises rectangular strain components epsilon xx, gamma xy, gamma xz, gamma xy, epsilon yy, gamma yz, gamma xz, gamma yz, epsilon zz. As you are already familiar with rectangular stress components sigma xx, sigma yy, or sigma yy, sigma zz, tau xy, tau xz, and tau yz. And since you are also familiar with the procedure that how these sigma xx, sigma yy, sigma zz, tau xy, tau xz, tau yz are represented on a rectangular components. So in the same fashion, you can label all these strain components on this 3D element, and you can easily visualize the state of strain on a point. Here it is important to note that state of strain, or in other terms we call it strain at a point, is a tensor quantity. It is a tensor quantity. That means this matrix represents a strain tensor. But the rectangular strain components, these components, they are described by both magnitude as well as direction. So it is important to understand the sign conventions for strain. Sign convention for linear strain is straightforward. A strain produced in tension is considered positive, and strain produced in compression is considered negative. But in case of shear strain, the sign convention is little complex. A shear strain is considered positive if the angle between two positive faces, these are two positive faces, if this angle is reduced, or if this angle, the angle between two negative faces, are reduced, then the induced shear strain is considered positive. So this case represents a positive shear strain. Why we are considering this as a positive shear strain? Because this type of shear strain is produced by positive shear stress components tau xy. So these are positive shear stress components, and on these two negative faces, shear strain acts like this. So if you apply these positive shear stress components on a rectangular element, it will cause decrease in these right angles, or it will cause decrease in these angles. On the contrary, if these two angles are increased, then the respective shear strain is considered negative. In the further slides, we will explore the concept of 3D strain in more detail, but first we will discuss the concept of deformations. So we are going to talk about deformation at a point in three-dimensional space. Let's consider a solid body of this initial shape, and after deformation, its shape has become something like this. If we consider a point P with position vector r, something like this, then the position vector r can be written as r is equal to ix plus jy plus kz, where I, j, and k are unit vectors. Let's define a displacement vector u. U is equal to iux, juy, and kuz. This displacement vector is denoting the displaced position of point P, that is P dash. So if displacement vector is known, then we can easily find out the position vector of deformed position of point P, that is P dash. So P dash will be equal to the position vector R dash equal to ix plus ux, j y plus uy, k z plus uz. and r dash will be equal to r plus u. So finding deformed position of a point in three-dimensional space is quite easy. Let's solve one numerical problem. Suppose displacement field for a body is given as u is equal to I 3x square y plus y square plus j 3yz plus xy plus k xz square plus 5xy square. Then it is asked that what will be the deformed position of a point P initially at 2, -1 and 3. It is important to remember that a displacement vector or a displacement field is described by the initial coordinates of the point. So here, this component of u represents ux, this component uy, and this component represents uz. So just substitute this coordinate 2, -1, 3 in the expression of ux, you will get a numerical value of ux. Then substitute this coordinate in the expression of uy and get its numerical value. And similarly, you can find out the numerical value of uz. Then you can find out the deformed position of point P. So P dash, its coordinate can be obtained as x plus ux. So x is known as 2, ux you have calculated using this coordinate. So add x and ux, you will get x dash. Similarly, y plus uy will be equal to y dash, z plus uz will be equal to z dash. Now we will consider a more complex situation and we will try to find out deformation in the neighborhood of a point P. So if the coordinate of P is known and displacement vector or displacement field corresponding to point P is known, that means P dash is known. Then our objective is to find out Q dash. So what information are known to us? The coordinate of point P, displacement vector u. These two quantities are known. So from these two quantities, we can directly find out P dash, but our objective is to find the deformed position of point Q, that is Q dash. But yes, one more thing is given. Here it is given that point Q is located in the neighborhood of point P. So we have to use these three information. The first information is the coordinate of P is given. Coordinate of P is given. Displacement vector at point P is also given as u is equal to ux I uy j plus uj k, and it is also given that P and Q are located very close to each other, and the length of the line PQ is equal to delta S, which is described by the components delta x, delta y, and delta j. So these three informations are given. First one is this, then this is the second information, and this is the third information. Now, to achieve our objective, we will define a displacement gradient matrix. Here we have the displacement gradient matrix. Basically, a deformation gradient is a tensor and it is used to quantify the 3D shape change as well as overall material rotation. So even if you have displacement vector at a point, but using this displacement gradient matrix, you can quantify the whole 3D shape change as well as overall material rotation. This displacement gradient matrix denotes an approximate change in the ux in x direction, approximate change in ux in y direction, approximate change in ux in z direction, and similarly approximate change in uy in x, y, and z direction, and also approximate change in uz in x, y, and z direction. So if you multiply this displacement gradient matrix by the distance between P and Q, that is delta x, delta y, and delta z. Then you will get delta ux, that means approximate change in ux in x direction, and also you will get delta u y and delta u z. So what will be the resulting expression of delta ux? Delta ux will be dou ux by dou x into delta x plus dou ux by dou y delta y plus dou ux by dou z delta z. Similarly, you can get expression of delta y and expression of delta. So the displacement vector at q will be u plus delta u, that means ux plus delta ux, uy plus delta uy, uz plus delta uz. That means if you know the coordinate of point P, displacement vector at point P is length PQ, then you can derive or you can approximate the displacement vector at point Q. Now, if you know the displacement vector at point P and Q, then easily you can find deformed position of P, that is P dash, and deformed position of Q, that is Q dash. So what will be the deformed position of point P, coordinates of point P dash? It will be x plus ux comma y plus uy comma z plus uz, and coordinates of q dash point, it will be x plus ux plus delta ux comma y plus uy plus delta uy comma z plus uz plus delta uz. So these two expressions are very important to solve numericals of this topic. In addition to that, if you want to solve the numericals, then you should also remember the expressions of delta ux, delta uy, and delta uz. That means you should remember this displacement gradient matrix. This matrix is very important.